Thank you. Let me bring in former U.S. Attorney and senior FBI official Chuck Rosenberg. Chuck, for there to be conspiracy, there have to be other individuals. We don't know who those are.
Well, we don't know their names. At least they're not named in the indictment. But there's traditional charging language that prosecutors use in a conspiracy, Lester, citing to conspirators known and unknown to the grand jury. And then they list 6 known conspirators, not by name, but by description. 5 of them are attorneys. One of the 5 attorneys is a Department of Justice official. And then the 6th known conspirator, again, not named, is a political consultant. So there are others that are clearly on the radar of Jack Smith and his team, others who joined in a criminal conspiracy with Mr. Trump. So we'll certainly learn their names. The prosecutors, of course, know their names, but they are identified specifically in the indictment by the jobs they hold, the positions they held during the course of the conspiracy. Another point to make. Charging a conspiracy in a speaking indictment, as the Smith team did, gives us a tremendous amount of detail about the indictment and the allegations. So in that way, very similar, Lester, to the indictment that was returned and then superseded in the Southern District of Florida. Speaking indictments with tremendous detail. I hope people read it carefully.
These 4 charges we're looking at here now, how will they be defended? How would they typically be defended? Do you see any obvious weaknesses in the government's charges?
Well, I don't see weaknesses in the government's charges because I haven't had a chance yet to read the indictment carefully. But assuming that the government can adduce and prove in court everything it alleges in the indictment, my quick look at the indictment suggests that it's compelling and strong. That said, how do you defend against the case like this? So to your question, Lester, traditionally, typically, in these sorts of cases, the defendant will argue that he didn't have the requisite intent to commit these crimes. He may argue that he relied upon attorneys for their advice and counsel, and by doing so, he should be absolved of any criminal liability. Simply put, the government always has to prove intent. And often in these types of cases, a defendant will claim that he lacked the requisite intent. But, and this is important, there are numerous individuals also cited in this indictment who did the right thing by telling Mr. Trump that he lost the election. They are also listed in the indictment by position: the Vice President of the United States, Department of Justice officials, the Director of National Intelligence, Department of Homeland Security officials, and officials from the White House counsel's office, Mr. Trump's internal counsels within the office of president. And so with all of those people telling Mr. Trump he lost and being designated in the indictment as having done that, it becomes that much more difficult for Mr. Trump to claim he lacked the requisite intent. So that's how these cases are often sort of framed for battle: government proving intent, a defendant arguing he didn't form the requisite intent. But it seems here that the government, Mr. Smith and his team of prosecutors and agents, have thought carefully about that already.
All right, Chuck Rosenberg, thank you. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.